Morning, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the Bullish Harami, a reversal signal. All right. I got 13 stocks I'm going to go through, so we're going to see if we can get to 100% on this Bullish Harami and its movement. All right. Thank you for liking and subscribing, by the way. Be sure to hit the notification bell for the next one after this. We'll be talking about the next reversal signal since basically the market's been falling, so we want to know if it turned around and heading back up, or if it's some still buying opportunities coming in the future here. When I say buying opportunities, I mean continued selling. So we'll see what happens, okay? But let's pick out these reversal signals, the Bullish Harami, and go from there. All right. So first up, we're gonna have our first stock we're looking at is Alcoa Corp. All right, and we can go back. This is a 3-month chart. Let's use a 6-month chart so we can get a bigger view of its movements. All right, so this is Alcoa, and in Alcoa when we were looking for the Bullish Harami, the first one we spotted was right about in here, where this bar opened and closed within this bar. Okay, and that's when you call it Bullish Harami. And Japanese Bullish Harami means, or Bullish Harami in Japanese is pregnant. Okay, you never hear me refer to it as a pregnant woman. Okay, but it just means pregnant, not pregnant woman. Okay, and generally how it works is that it's a bar that opens and closes within another bar. Okay, so this bar would be pregnant with this bar. Okay, this bar would be pregnant with this bar. Alright, now sometimes they work a little bit and don't give you much depending on the positioning on the board. Okay, here we have a lot of overhead pressure. This pressure coming down here, this pressure going overhead here, and so when we got this Harami here, it couldn't really perform well because of its positioning, because of the overhead. We got a little bit of a pop the next day higher, but it couldn't get through all this noise here, and it sold off and got some space so that it can push back up through. Okay, so that one failed us there, but it did give us a little bit of a push, but it couldn't give us much because of all the overhead pressure. Okay, so as we look through for a better positioning for that Harami, so here we have another one here. Okay, at this support area. Okay, so we got this Harami here, and then we got a nice push higher on that one. Didn't have as much pressure as this one did overhead with all these moving averages. Okay, pressing down on it. Okay, so this one was able to just kind of blast up through these light averages here and pushed on through, and so now it's coming back up to retest against these heavier moving averages. Okay, it's moved quite a few distance, so you may get a little bit of pullback in that one to find some support in here and then continue higher, but we'll see what happens with Alcoa. But we know that this was a kind of our reversal signal, and really this pin bar here was kind of the stop, but that wasn't our convincing move to go higher because we still had this overhead pressure, and we knew that we sold off, and usually our first move is going to be a dead cat bounce. We're going to bounce up, retest that support, then we're going to put in our maybe another pin bar or tweezers or or some kind of signal that we're reversing, morning star, evening star, whatever, some type of reversal signal, and then head up. And that's what we got here. We got a little bounce, put in that W, put in this bullish Harami, and then now here we are heading up. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking for there on the bullish Harami, and that's on Alcoa. And if we look at Apple, Apple put in its bullish Harami right here. Alright, and Apple had been way down underneath the market selling off. Okay, so, and Apple is really heavily weighted in some of our majors, so be careful with this one because it is technically in a down market. Once these major moving averages roll over and start heading that way, Apple may continue to sell off. So we'll see what happens as the future unravels Apple's stock movement. Okay, but currently this bullish Harami has given us, 4 bars to the upside. So if we could have caught it in here at 211, we could at least gotten, a $7 move out of it, because the high of that bar was $218, so 211, 218, but $7 move. Okay, so those kind of things you can kind of look for and jump in. It might have given you a little bit of a scare here, but then at the end of the day it turned green and positive. Fat doji, but then the next day it popped up and went higher. So but it is struggling in this area. So the Harami, is in a downtrending market. So can you really trust that it's going to continue to go higher? No, probably not. You can trust that it's going to give you some movement up because these averages have to come down and add that pressure overhead. And you had this overhead resistance area here. So, there was a lot going against this one actually being profitable, but it turned out to be somewhat profitable, but you had to sit through a lot of pain to get there, or sit through a lot waiting to see what was going to happen. But if you're in the trade and your stop was down, below the reason you got in, you would have been fine. You're still fine. So, take that for what it is. Next up, we're going to look at is the Adobe, and this is the 6 month and a day chart. Okay, 6 months and a day, and Adobe is kind of doing like the same thing Apple is doing. All right, where it's pushing higher, but it's running into some problems because it is in a down market. All right, so you did get a little bit out of it, but you can't really expect a whole lot because it's in a down market and it needs to kind of work its way back to profitability. Alright, so you'll hit those little, so it's kind of a reversal signal here, but it's going to take it a minute to work its way out. ADT put in a nice one, had a beautiful area too, right on top of our major moving averages. Did have some overhead resistance from our 8 and 9 SMAs, but as you can see, look at that, nice big bar, nice pullback, huge ending closing bar, and then a nice good sized baby inside of that bar, and look at it push higher off the springboarding off this these clouds, or this major moving averages, just bounced off of it and took off. Alright, so far it still looks like it's still wanting to run, so that's kind of textbook right there. Same thing, there was another one here, where is it? this right here looks kind of like a morning star here, where you got two bars and it drops down and it puts in this reversal signal and pushes up, you know, temporary or this overhead pressure, and pulls back, and then you know, we get a little gap up to push higher, you know, continue to run, you know. So a lot of reconciliation is going to be happening down in here at some point, like it did here. Got all that movement, but it had to come back down and shut that door, and it's starting to run again. So these are short termers. Don't sit too long. Okay. Not very strong stock, this one here, although it has been around for a while. Every time I look at it, it's in this area. So, all right, let's look at another one. A firm, and the firm. Where is it? Harami. So this one didn't have that reversal signal for a Harami for reversal signal. I don't think. I think this one we just kind of got a little pause, little indecision doji, then a push up, and another push up. So we just kind of consolidated in this area. But there's, let's see if we can find a Harami in there somewhere. And Harami usually comes after one of these sell-offs like that. Like that could be, if that was more of a doji, that could be like a reversal signal too. That little bar that just dropped out by itself. Like this one drops out by itself. I don't have a technical name for that, but when you see that, it usually, you know, turns around and goes the other way. Especially if you get the other bar opens up overhead like that. You know, it's usually a pretty good reversal signal. But I don't see a Harami. Must have saw one somewhere, and that's why I put it in here, but maybe not. Maybe I just saw those reversal signals like this evening star here. Reversed. And we got this AOSL Alpha and Omega. Ticker AOSL. Got this Bullish Harami right here. So this one's doing its reversal. Alright, put in this nice doji here, fat doji. Kind of put the brakes on, consolidated in this area, and then gave us a bullish Harami right here. So we should in the next few days see this thing start to roll back up and retest this overhead resistance. Alright, had a Harami here at support, and it just took off and ran all the way back up here, and before selling off back up into this resistance area here. So that was a nice move there on that Harami at the major support areas. Okay. Let's see, Morning Star. Alright, so that's all we got on this one. So we'll revisit this and see how this plays out as the days move forward. Alright, next up is AXTA Exalta Coating System. Alright, and Could be a Harami there. Cut the legs off, sewed off. Um, There's a nasty fall right there, like a waterfall, huh? Splashed around in the lake below. Come back up for air. Yeah, that could be a Harami if you cut the legs off. Nice reversal signal there. I don't see anything that jumps out at me in this one. Maybe this one here. Maybe we got our Harami here. That needs to play out a few days. But see, this one would have been stopped out of this one. So this one we have to kind of keep an eye on and see if we want to try to get back in as it shows a positive movement. But probably would have jumped out of this one already, been stopped out. This one here, if you want to consider that one, if you cut the legs off, could still, well no, we would have got stopped out of this one too. So this is probably not a good example. Although these are Haramis, they're not really giving us any fruits. Right away anyway. The next day would have been stopped out. Now we're waiting to see what's going to happen. This day is, let's see, what's the date? 3/19/25. So this is Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. And we got this doji here, which is an indecision bar, so we can go either direction on this bar when we open up. Alright, so we'll see what happens with that one too. We'll come back to it. Then we got Boeing. Boeing is trying to get back to its former glory, but they're having a problem with their planes, as you may know. So I got a nice sell off, and then this dark cloud showed up, and now it's heading back higher into this resistance area. So we'll see how Boeing plays out. Had this here, had a Harami here, but didn't pan out. Stopped us out down here, kept selling off, and got this dark cloud and reversed. Had a Harami here, got some profits out of it because it ran up into this resistance area and sold off. This one could be, but kind of iffy as well. This one probably, but it's kind of iffy as well. So that's probably all we got on that one. This is Boeing, BA is the ticker. Here we got Baba, BA, and we got a Bullish Harami on Baba at the top of our moving averages in this uptrending market. So the chances are, well, okay, so this bar, this is moving up and it's green. Okay, it's in an uptrend. So technically that would be a bearish Harami. Okay, because a bullish Harami is when you're getting red, then you get a green with a red bar inside of it and a push higher. Or you get a red bar with a green bar inside of it and a push higher. Okay, so this would be more like a bearish Harami here. We have this nice big green bar, but then you get this red bar inside of it and you get your sell off. Okay, so let's see how this one plays out. If this is going to be more bearish and continue to sell off, or if it's going to, not give us what we're expecting because of this in a moving market, and it's got a lot of support beneath. But like this one here, it was pushing higher, green bar, red bar inside of it, sold off a little bit, then it just gapped up again the next day. Okay, because it was really in a bullish market. Alright, so that was just a little bit of a reversal signal or a little bit of a sell signal before moving higher. Don't see any bearish Haramis, bullish Haramis, just bearish Haramis currently in Baba. Alright, so we got another bearish Harami here, so we'll see what happens at $148 on Baba. Next up we got Bloom Energy, and Bloom Energy sell, that could be considered a kind of, reversal signal there, Harami. There's another Harami there, reversal signal. Harami here, pull up. Morning star, or evenings, morning star, take off. Hammer. That's it for Bloom Energy. We did get that one there. This one here. Alright, next up is Cheesecake Factory cake. And you got this Harami here at our major moving averages. Okay, and we got our little push up coming in. And nice move here from here to here into the support area. Alright, so there's our reversal there. Sell, 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 sell. Harami at major moving averages, major support, push higher. Let's see. Anything else in here? Dark cloud. Sort of a morning star. Harami. Alright. Evening star. Hammer. Harami. Evening star. Morning star. Nice pin bar too. Look at that at the support area, or hammer support area. Bearish Harami. doji, double pin bar, or tweezer top. Dark cloud, darker cloud. Get our cell. Now we got down to our Harami, ready to go back up. So cake looks like it's definitely a buy. Closed this window down in here. Not completely closed it, but it's close enough. So Cheesecake Factory looks like it's definitely ready to continue to go higher. After reading all of the pages of this book that it's writing, looks like it's ready to continue higher on Cheesecake Factory. We'll look at some more because I'm sure there's some stocks out there that you're looking at that you're wanting to find these type of reversal signals. You know, to know if you're on the right side of the trade at the moment. Currently, as we can see, that this bullish Harami does work in certain situations. So it's not 100% of the time, but you know, I want to say most of the time you get a good Harami at a good position, and most likely you're going to get a nice reversal. This one's been selling off quite a bit here, so when this showed up here, even after this bar here, we pushed down and put the brakes on and push back up, and then you got the Harami the next time. You know, you might want to consider keeping an eye on that. And you get this bar come in, you might say, okay, this looks positive. Let's jump in here and ride this up and see how far we can get. You know, putting our stop in below here and taking all this profit. So risking this little bit to get all that. Not bad. Alright, so be looking for those type of reversal signals. We'll do another one. I touched on a few others to help, but mostly we're just working on this bullish Harami here. And in some instances, there were bearish Haramis. Okay, so you got a bearish Harami, and you get a bullish, and you know you're ready to go back up and retest that high. Okay, so that's all I got for you today. I hope that it was informative for you. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and be looking for those reversal signals, because that's going to help you with your trading as well. And next one is going to be on. We'll look at bars and go through and pick out different type of bar signals that kind of help us with our movement to the high or to the low. All right, so that's all I got for you today. Thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and be careful out there. These markets are crazy.